most of the time I'm mentally asleep, and I'm not proud to admit this, but a lot of times I'm just overtaken by my brain into doing lazy actions like watching YouTube, eating unhealthy or whatever it may be. I am not using my full capacity whatsoever of my brain to the best of my ability, whether that be metacognition, being able to think about your own thoughts, or doing something productive or thinking about something serious. But I tend to take the easy way out a lot of times just subconsciously. And I think this has been reinforced. I almost know this has been reinforced over years of just watching social media, playing video games, and just like the basic bad behaviors that 99.9% of our society take part in. And what this has done is it's provided negative results, as you would expect, in a lot of ways, because 98% of the time, right, I'm just doing something that will amount to absolutely nothing. But then the other 2% of the time, which this is what I want to hone in on, because the other 2% of the time, at least in my standards, at least in my head, because I can't think in anybody else's head, obviously, right? But 2% of the time, I am exceptional in what I'm thinking about. Like, I'm using the maximum metacognition I have. I'm using the maximum thinking skills that I have on a certain topic, right? Let's say, for example, that I am viewing my business strategy, right? Because I'm building a software right now. I don't want to get too into the weeds about that, but let's say when I'm building my software and I'm trying to adapt the strategy and how I've been working because it's not successful, right? I'll come up with all these ways in my head to adapt it. And for some reason, I just get that like gut or head feeling that it's going to be successful if I just follow the new strategy that I came up with, because I was reflecting on what I was doing wrong very specifically on like each detail, if that makes sense, right? And then I'll come up with new ways to adapt to that strategy over time and just in the moment, which is basically metacognition, right? One of the most important skills, or not skills, one of the most important like measurements of intelligence. That's also like one of the most important variables of being successful at pretty much anything, right? Or everything, because you can think and reflect on certain things that you did wrong or that you could do better, or just, yeah, I'm not going to give you guys a full, research explanation right now, but it's really frustrating because 98% of the time I'm just subconsciously scrolling on my phone, right? Just subconsciously doing all of this, BS that's not going to amount to anything, that a lot of our society is. And I think I have a solution here. And that solution would be to first get off social media. I repeated that, or I said that, and I'm repeating it now in my very first video. To get off social media, I've already deleted Instagram and TikTok. I need to delete Snapchat instantly. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. Remove. Okay, why didn't it delete? I swear I'm not touching anything. I'll have to enter a passcode. Okay, there we go. Delete. No more Snapchat. I'm deleting YouTube after this video. The only time I can watch YouTube is for like informational stuff, because not all YouTube videos are bad, right? Some YouTube videos are really good because you're consuming valuable information or you want to learn how to do stuff, but 99.9%, 99% of the videos on YouTube aren't helpful. So I'll stay disciplined enough to, watch correct videos. So first is social media, right? Social media is very destructive, especially short form content. It's not necessarily super bad if you occasionally watch long form YouTube videos, probably like 30, 45 minutes max a day if they're informational, right? And the next thing is I need to do stuff that expands my attention span, meaning not watching, reading books, right? Which I'm a terrible book reader because I just don't read books in general. So I'm going to start reading a lot of books. Or at least trying to read like 5 to 10 pages a day, trying to grow my mind, because I absolutely hate it. And there's this study done by a Stanford professor. I think you guys can look into it more, but basically what the study shows is that, I gotta think about it. I'm sorry. The study shows that basically, every time you don't want to do something, but you end up doing it regardless, there's a certain part of your brain that grows. I don't think it's a prefrontal cortex because that's fully developed by 25, but it's a certain name, right? In your brain, like a part of your brain that develops and grows that basically strength. I can't talk. Oh my gosh. That increases your willpower to do something you don't want to do. Well, willpower is essentially that, right? But it increases your willpower every time you don't want to do something you don't want to do. But as soon as you do something that you kind of don't want to do, or like you want to do, or that it's like middle ground, right? Then it doesn't grow. So like, for example, if you hate running, but over the course of a week, you somehow develop the love for it and you love running, that part of your brain is not going to grow. It's annoying me so much that I don't know the name of it. But that part of your brain is not going to grow, right? But let's say you hate reading, for example, me, right? I hate reading. And let's say I just continue, or let's just say like I absolutely hate it even if I read for like a full entire month, right? My brain's going to keep growing over and over and over and over and over again, right? Or let's just put it in this context, right? Willpower. My willpower is going to grow over and over and over again. People nowadays have zero willpower, right? With social media, with junk food, with being able to socialize on the internet, not going outside, video games, drugs, lust, whatever it may be, a multitude of things, right? And the third thing I want to try to tackle here to basically be able to be in the mindset where I can think in depth or use more willpower, and not be like a shallow thinker. It's not that I'm a shallow thinker. It's that like my brain's just on autopilot for a majority of time, right? Like 98% of the time. And that's because the activities I'm doing basically takes no brain power, which is very bad. You want to try to fill your day with activities or work that will use a lot of your brain power, decision-making skills, execution, whatever that may be, right? To increase your layered thinking or metacognition, or like just certain things that can increase. Wow, this is a struggle. This is my second video. Just overall like measurements, right? Okay. Oh, man. I'm trying to think what I'm going to say here. Because I'm framing this terribly right now. Okay, so yeah, just overall trying to think deeply or think, thoughtfully or to the best of your ability. Because what happens for me, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but 2% of the time when I am using my brain, like I said, I'm able to achieve so much, whether that's like on paper, right? Whether I like get a bunch of work done, schoolwork done, whatever it may be. But I'm also able to have like really like powerful thoughts in a way that can like boost my progress in whatever I'm doing. But yeah, essentially the message of this video is to try to eliminate distractions and try to partake in activities that can increase your overall willpower to use the maximized like version of your brain, if that makes sense, right? To try to be able to think to the best of your ability. I really struggled on the later half of this video trying to come up with what I was going to say, but hopefully this helped people out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.